Formagi YouTube video k lia oper jo tum ny story lik kdhs k oper tai men strong hook lik k do. Hook jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity si barpor hona chaye k mary vauer engage ho jn our video ko ntk deck and the cozy corner. The rain tapped gently on the window. The room smelled of old books and warm tea. A soft light flickered from the corner lamp. She sank into the worn armchair. The cushions hugged her like an old friend. Outside, the wind whispered through the trees. She wrapped the blanket tighter around her shoulders. A sudden creak echoed from the hallway. She froze. The sound came again, closer this time. Her heart beat faster, yet curiosity pulled her eyes toward the darkness. The shadows in the corner seemed to shift. A cold draft brushed her neck. She shivered despite the blanket. The lamp flickered, and for a moment, the corner went completely dark. A soft whisper seemed to come from the corner itself. She told herself it was the wind, yet the whisper repeated her name. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the lamp. The light returned, and the corner appeared empty. But a shadow lingered, too sharp, too deliberate. She blinked, trying to convince herself she imagined it. Then, a hand, thin, pale, rested on the arm of her chair. The hand on the armchair did not move. She could feel its coldness seeping into her skin. Her breath caught in her throat. She wanted to scream, yet her voice refused to come out. Every muscle in her body was frozen. The room, once cozy and familiar, felt suddenly alien. The ticking of the old clock became deafening. The rain outside pounded harder against the window, like a warning. She tried to pull away, but her body betrayed her, staying rooted to the chair. The shadow in the corner seemed to grow taller. It stretched toward her silently, creeping along the floor. Her eyes widened as she noticed the figure had no features. No eyes, no mouth, only a blackness that seemed to absorb light. A strange smell filled the room, like damp earth mixed with burnt paper. Her stomach twisted, a cold nausea crawling up her spine. She blinked rapidly, hoping the shadow would vanish. It did not. Instead, it stepped closer, and the air around it turned icy. Her blanket slipped from her shoulders, falling to the floor like a forgotten memory. She felt a pressure on her chest, as if the room itself was holding her down. A whisper returned, louder this time, urgent and filled with menace. "Do not leave," it said, dragging out the words as if savoring them. She tried to speak, to respond, but all that came was a strangled gasp. The shadow's movement was fluid, impossible, almost unnatural. She felt the floor beneath her shift slightly, as if the house itself was breathing. A faint scratching sound emerged from the walls. It circled the room, closer to her with every passing second. Her heart pounded, echoing in her ears like drums of a funeral march. Then she saw it, something crawling along the ceiling. Thin, black tendrils stretched down, almost like roots, reaching for her. Panic surged through her, hot and sharp. She tried to stand, but the chair refused to let her go. Her hands scrabbled against the cushions, finding nothing to grip. The shadows began to twist, forming shapes that made no sense. Faces appeared in the darkness, twisted and silent. They stared at her with empty eyes, their mouths opening without sound. Her chest heaved, her breaths shallow and fast. The whispers became a chorus, overlapping voices speaking her fears aloud. "You cannot leave, we will wait, forever." Her vision blurred as tears stung her eyes. The lamp flickered violently, threatening to plunge the room into complete darkness. In that brief blackness, she felt something brush against her face. Cold fingers traced her jawline, then vanished as quickly as they came. When the light returned, the shadows were closer, pressing in around her. The room no longer looked like the cozy corner she had loved. Every object, every piece of furniture seemed distorted, unfamiliar. Bookshelves leaned at impossible angles. The rug wriggled slightly, like it had a life of its own. The rain outside was gone, replaced by a suffocating silence. Her ears rang with the absence of sound, a ringing that made her dizzy. She forced herself to look toward the corner. The darkness had pulled there, thick and solid, almost like a living entity. And then she saw them. Eyes. Hundreds of tiny, gleaming eyes staring at her from the blackness. They blinked in unison, synchronizing with her heartbeat. A guttural sound erupted from the shadow, low and vibrating. Her skin crawled, goosebumps rising in waves. She could feel the pressure of its gaze, like it was reaching inside her mind. Memories she had buried long ago surged up, unbidden and raw. The fear she had carried for years now manifested as a tangible weight. She tried to shut her eyes, to escape, but the shadows were already inside her vision. Shapes formed and dissolved in front of her eyes, showing fleeting glimpses of horrors she could not name. Her knees buckled. She fell forward, the armchair tipping with her weight. A sharp pain shot through her ankle as